Hello guys, Hikiyami Moriko desu, and today we're playing another indie game. This one's called Hearbeat Singularity, and I think it's a demo. So let's start the game. I hope it has music, right? Let me just move myself to this here. Sir, sir, wake up, please. Oh no, I'm gonna go back to where I was. Sorry. I don't want to yeah, all in. The cold hand on my shoulder jolted me out from my sleep. I looked at the person standing in front of me and remembered that it was the air hostess that I asked to wake me up before sleeping. Her face looked a little too shocked. Flight attendant. Sir, you asked me to wake you up before we start serving breakfast. Oh, right. Thank you very much. The flight attendant nodded and smiled before walking away. Looking around, the lights were still dim, and most people... those are seats, right? And most people were still asleep. The album I had playing in the background already ended and some random playlist was being played. I wiggled my legs around to get rid of the numbness and folded the fluffy blanket. If I knew writing in business class was this luxurious, I should plan on more overseas projects. This was my first time receiving a journalist job in another state. In the newspaper company I work with, usually they will openly offer intercity postings to people who are interested, and most of the time those slots get filled up fast. But this time, the higher groups personally approached me and offered me a place. It was a year-long placement in Terrace City, the world's first successful smart city to be built. Even though it had already existed for 100 years, not many people had allowed to enter the city, since they had strict regulations for people outside the city to enter. And that's kinda weird. They even have a special airlines company that people had to go through in order to enter the city. Because of that, not many outside news outlets had the chance to cover the events that happen in the city. Based on the news source within the city, the people there had their own culture and lifestyle. Sounds like almost any other city except for the fact that you can go in. It was different from the people living outside the city surrounding area. Oh, alright. Never mind. The documents that my company provided only gave me the basic information on how the city works. I look out of the window to see the plane still flying above the clouds. The sky was still dark with some hints of pink and orange on the horizon. Despite the sun rising soon, it was still dark enough for the stars to twinkle slightly. It's so pretty up here. I leaned a little too close to the window and bumped into the cold glass. Ow! Not to mention pretty cold too. Turning on my phone, I took a picture of the early morning sky. Maybe I'll get to see it again when the year is up. Flight attendant. Good morning, sir. Would you like to see what we have for breakfast? I looked back towards the aisle to see another flight attendant with a cart and holding out a menu. The cart was piled up with food and drinks and probably the biggest breadbasket I've ever seen. Just the smell of the pastries and rolls already made me hungry. Yes, please. Oh, already with the hard choices, right? I want to save this game. I don't like scones really much. I do like omelette, but airplane omelette? Well, this is first class, right? So it must be a really good omelette, but I guess pancakes are the safest choice, so I'm gonna go with pancakes. I'll have the pancakes and some tea, please. Here you go, 1 stack of pancakes fresh from the... I just wanted 1 pancake, not 1 stack. Thank you. From the griddle. That's a very fluffy stack of pancakes. And there's mangoes. Oh yeah, I love mangoes. Give me some mangoes. All fruit is prepared fresh in the onboard kitchen, so it's as close to the pancakes you find at any normal breakfast joint. So, Sasuga first class. Pancakes with mangoes is the most popular breakfast dish in the city, so I broke them instead of the classic pancake dish. I see. So it's kinda tropical, I guess. The city dwellers definitely have some different taste in food combinations. Send my compliments to the chef and thank you for the meal. You can send compliments after you ate the food. Oh, I already did? I don't know. Will do. Enjoy your breakfast, sir. I will. Thank you very much. You too. The flight attendant pushed the car down the aisle to the next passenger, and I was left with this yummy-looking breakfast. What a way to start the day. It was still a weird idea to combine mangoes and pancakes. The most I ever went was eating them with bananas and berries. Oh yeah, berries, it's good. I hesitated to eat, but quickly placed the fork into my mouth before I could change my mind again. Oh, that didn't taste so bad. It's just mango. What did you expect, man? To my surprise, the pancakes went pretty well with the mangoes. It tasted even better the more cider I poured in. I hate when people just bat the pancakes in syrup. You can't taste the pancake anymore. As I enjoyed the meal, an announcer blared through the plane's intercom speaker. Pilot. Good morning, everyone. We are expected to land in approximately 32 minutes at the Tourist City International Airport. The morning weather is expected to be quite chilly, so be prepared with your jackets and scarves. I would also like to remind you to check your entrance forms to ensure they are filled in accurately to ensure your smooth entrance to the city. Thank you, and please enjoy the rest of the flight. Hearing the pilot mention about the entrance forms, I started to eat faster. I remember filling in the form before going to sleep, but since I was so sleepy, I wasn't sure if I'd filled properly. I'll have to triple check it. It was hard not getting the flight here. I can't afford to mess things up now. It feels nice being on solid ground. I thought the plane was going to crash with how bumpy the landing was. My legs were still shaky as I walked out the tunnel connecting the plane and airport. The cool temperature in the building only made me shiver more. I had to stop to decide to put on a thicker jacket just in case if it would get colder. I quickly walked out towards the immigration counters before it could get crowded, but to my surprise, there was barely a line there. We must be the first flight in. Shrugging that thought, I walked up to the counter when an officer prompted me. I handed over my passport and entrance form. When I wanted to greet the officer, I noticed how stern his face was, almost a little bit scary. He glanced at the documents and stamped them before dismissing me with a grunt. Of course. I quickly scampered off without another word. The faster I can get past immigration, the better. Yeah, the better. After picking up my luggage from the baggage carousel, I spent a good 5 minutes trying to find my way out of the arrivals terminal. The airport seems so small, but it almost feels like a labyrinth with all the hallways it has. Yeah, our airports are always like that, right? Like, you feel you have... It's not that big, and then you get lost all of a sudden. I suddenly remember that I had still my phone turned off from before the plane landed. I shuffled around for my phone and turned it on. As soon as the messages are calico, I saw a recent message from my landlord. Before leaving, he said he could pick me up from the airport when I arrived, and I agreed to it. With the amount of luggage I was carrying, it will be quite difficult to move around, especially when I barely know this place. Meet me outside at the drop-off. I was standing with a sign with your name on it. And my name is Aline? Yeah. I'll head to the exit then. As I exited the airport, give me a second. I saw how big the actual structure it is. It looked small from the inside, but the tall signs made the building look grander. Yeah, it's quite big. I was in complete awe until someone bumped into me and brought me back to Earth. I shall find the landlord quick. Who knows how long he's been waiting for. I'm sorry about that, I was joking. I wandered around the drop-off looking for someone who was holding a sign with my name written on it. After a while, I finally saw someone holding the sign, but it wasn't the landlord. It is a cute girl. A really cute girl, Ellen. Oh, wait, is it a girl? The person holding the sign was a girl. Some of her features resembled the landlord, but I was sure, it must be her daughter? His daughter. His wife? She must notice me staring at her when she looked back at me. I felt a small urge of panic running through me and felt my cheeks go a little warm. A little worse was misspelled. She's walking toward me? Wait. Excuse me, mister. I'm sorry, didn't mean to... I felt a hand on my shoulder and heard laughter coming from the girl. She was laughing at me? That realization made me even more embarrassed. Relax, bud. It wasn't that obvious, plus you look kinda lost, so I thought you needed some help. Oh. How clueless do I even look like? There was a moment of awkward silence between us. Well, it was more to her trying to stop laughing at me, wanting for some miraculous force to appear and sweep me away from the situation. So, are you the guy I'm looking for? She held up the handwritten sign. It was definitely my name written on it. Well, I guess so. Great, I'm Robin. Nice to meet you, Mr. Koshi. Robin grinned and offered her hand. I accepted the handshake and returned her smile, albeit it being a little awkward. Just from this brief meeting, I could tell she was a huge ball of energy. I could probably feel tired just by looking at her. But at the same time, she has a very welcoming personality. The most welcoming one since I arrived here, but you just arrived. Chill out. Just call me Ellen. Pleasure to meet you too. So you're the one that's going to help me move in? I wonder why she doesn't have a portrait down here. Yeah, well, technically my dad was supposed to be here, but he busted his back this morning, so he asked me to help you. Oh, I hope the injury isn't too severe. I suddenly felt bad for you to have him help me in the first place. He'll be fine, the sturdiest old man I've ever seen. But the way you say it made it sound so serious. Come on, the car's over there. I'm gonna be a pretty long drive to the city, so I hope you're ready. So, Robin let a small chuckle and she drew it from my hands and started pushing it towards a car parked across the street. Wait up! The drive to the city was quite pleasant. The journey was so close to an hour long, and most of the time Robin and I shouted to keep each other awake. At some point, I must nod it off since the next thing I knew, we already arrived at the city. The first thing I saw when I woke up was a tall skyscraper, standing in the distance. Good morning there. Is the jet lag gone yet? Oh, the jet lag. I blanked as I sat straight. The drowsiness was just as strong as before I fell asleep, and the light headache didn't make it any better. Still here. I leaned my head against the window and simply stared at the scenery. The buildings looked no different than any other cities, but something about them seemed so pristine. Despite most of the buildings being either white or various shades of gray and blue, it didn't look dull at all. The sidewalk was packed with people rushing around, having places to go. Some were well dressed and lugging around their briefcases, while some looked like they were heading to a fancy fashion show. Does the entire city look like this? Nah, this is just the business and administration district. Yeah, she looks like I don't know. Our city center for a much shorter version. I nodded her answer and continued to look outside. The scenery began to change again, and it seemed less blinding white than the city center buildings. Over here is the education district. Basically, all the schools, universities, and research centers are located here. But you need a student or faculty pass to even set foot in here. Oh, so it's really segmented. Like, yeah, I don't like that kind of cities. It's been proposed a lot, right? Like cities will be really segmented, like shop district, but just shops there. And I know it's kind of hard because you have to travel. Just think about it. You want to go from your home to school, then to the mall, then to work, and you have to cross all the city. It's kind of never mind. I see. There are similar lively with school children getting off the buses and running to their respective schools, and college students flocking to the various cafes. Oh, so there are cafes. Nah, never mind what I said. Are there any other districts? Yeah, there are tons of them. We have the shopping and entertainment district. At the other side of the city, near the eastern side of the city, are the beaches and and they're really pretty too. The residential districts form a kind of like a ring around the city. Oh, that's really a good idea. After that, it's the industrial district and the agricultural district. Is the outermost layer. You look like you live in the agricultural district. I never knew the city could be that big. It seems self-sustainable too. No wonder you guys don't reach out much. Well, we're doing pretty good on our own. The city's been surviving for almost 200 years without any interference from foreign governments. Amazing. Can you tell me more about the city? You sound like you know everything about it. No, I just didn't sleep during geography class. The two of us ended up laughing and talking more, with Robin telling me more about the city than what information my company provided. And here we are, home sweet home. Well, you're home, hehe. The car pulled up by the sidewalk. We were now in the residential areas of the city. The area looks so much more friendly and welcoming compared to the other districts we drive through so far. The neighborhood where it was slightly closer to the city center, so it was more apartment buildings and shops rather than the quaint row of houses and playgrounds. I look at the 5-story buildings in front of me. It looks like there are only any old red brick buildings. Home sweet home. The unit I rented was on the 5th floor, and I couldn't help but resent it. Climbing up 10 flights of stairs is not that fun when you have to drag up 3 huge bags. We ended up carrying the bags one at a time together, and by the time we broke up the last bag, we were completely exhausted. Thank God we're finally done. Robin simply nodded answer as she leaned against the railings. After catching her breath, she fished out the set of keys and walked over to the windows in the hallway. Alright, let's get you settled in. Oh, that's a nice apartment. She unlocked the door and opened it to reveal a cozy little apartment, all set with furniture and the boxes extended ahead with some of my belongings. I entered the unit after pushing all the bags inside and placed them to the side. A small son of owl left me upon seeing the apartment. The space seemed just enough for one person to live in. The living room was quite spacious with large windows letting the light flood in to make the space seem bigger. The kitchen was within the same space as the living room and it seemed well kept if I ever needed to do any cooking. What caught my eye was a window off the side of the room. It showed a perfect view of the residential areas with the street below. I walked over there to the window and opened the panes to let the breeze in. Wow! Pretty sweet view, right? Oh, look at her, she looks cute. It kinda reminds me of Monica a little from Doki Doki. I glanced to my side when I heard Robin walk up the window as well. I was met with bright blue eyes looking back at me, peeking through red locks swaying in the gentle breeze. The sunlight flooding in the front of the window added a little shine to her gaze, twinkling at almost. Very. Her smile grew wider and she let out a little giggle as her gaze turned to the center of the window. This guy is getting in love. I did the same, though I wish I'd look at this place for a bit longer. Definitely in love. The view outside was calming. Yellow and orange leaves gently floating about as a group of children ran about kicking the fallen leaves up. There were a couple of old folks sitting at a small shop across the street, chatting and laughing the day away. There wasn't even a lot of cars or motorcycles driving around, so the only sounds there were either the birds chirping or the people walking around on the street. I'll send my thanks to your dad for getting me this place. It's really nice. Bet he'd be happy to hear that. Thank you too. It felt really nice seeing a friendly face on the first day here. It's my first trip outside of the city that I grew up in, so I was kinda scared to come here. But meeting you helped me forget about it. Glad I could help with that. Robin's words slowly faded off at the end. Her fingers seemed to tug a little harder on her jacket sleeves, and her eyes were looking everywhere except straight ahead. If you want, we could, exchange numbers. Her voice sounded so small compared to how bright and bubbly it was just a few minutes ago. It was almost like she was mumbling and hoping that no one heard her. I couldn't help letting out a smile loud and how timid she suddenly looked. Hey, it's not whatever it's you're thinking. My dad's really bad at answering his phone and sometimes he forgets he owns one for a whole month. What if you need help with maintenance or something? Or what if you got lost in the city and you're being chased by something? It's that an ominous prediction. Okay, maybe the last one is a bit outstretched, but who knows, right? Besides, since you're staying here for a long while, won't hurt to have someone help you out if you ever need it. Her cheeks seemed to get redder as she continued explaining herself, and that only made the lock even more harder. I walked over to my backpack and dug around for my notebook and pen before walking back to her. After writing down my phone number, I tore the page off before handing it and the notebook to her. Here you go. What? For real? For real. Yay. I mean, cool, sweet. I couldn't help but notice the white smile she had when she wrote down her number and gave the notebook back to me. Robin Reinhardt? Reinhardt? Yep, that's my name. Don't even think about forgetting it. I won't. Just call me whenever you need any help within the house or anything in general. Call me whenever too. It'd be nice to talk to someone from time to time. Great. Robin began walking to the front door and I followed behind her. So all settled? Need any more help with anything? I'm gonna save this one here too. And wow, it's almost 20 minutes, right? I had this rule about 20 minutes for visual novels, but I've been finding some great visual novels lately, so I'm Tim. I'm gonna do part 2 of this game. If it keeps being interesting, maybe I do more parts. I don't know how long this game is, so I will see you in the next part. Goodbye.